What's up, everybody? You got the Car Man tonight, and we got a pretty cool conversation happening. I think it's cool anyway. It's cool to me. Meanwhile, if you're new to our channel, we want to take some time to just say thank you and welcome you to it. We're going to try to educate you a little bit and help you out. Um, it's all about sharing information. These are live videos that you're watching right now, so we invite all kind of interaction. And tonight's subject is going to be on making the biggest profits out there, which to me is on prime customers. This is my bread and butter. This is what I personally love. And this is my segment of the car business that I love the most, more than any other segment. So if you want to know how to make a lot of money, this is how you make a lot of money in the car business. Clean money with no headaches. This is the ticket. This is what everybody else does that has a lot of money to make a lot more money. So if you want to do that, stay tuned. Meanwhile, I guess we're live from the RV8. Okay, so let's talk about our customer. The customer we're talking about is either a cash customer. They got the money in their pocket. In that case, it doesn't matter what the car is, but they have cash in their pocket. Or B, just as well have cash in the pocket because they have the credit to buy whatever they want. Okay, so how do you get in that market? Like how can you sell cars to that group of people? The most successful independent dealers out there target this market. And the reason they target it is because they can do huge volume numbers, fast turnover, and they keep their cash coming and going with no problem. There's no hiccups. Because people with excellent credit or having cash, that's how you want to do. That's what you want to that's the kind of business you want to do. Hey, what's up, guy? Rick's Autos, what's up? Sounds great. Hey, Jamie, what's up, Sean? All right, so here's how I target this. First, let's talk about the cars. Actually, let's back up. Let's talk about that customer. Once you get, what's up, Big Cliffy? Once you get into this game, the customer that we're targeting, they're going to be real people. Like they're what we call a citizen. In the car business, they call them citizens, which means they have good credit or cash. Now, who are they buying for and how are we going to fit into the market? So they buy for their kids. They might be buying a secondary car instead of a new car. For some reason, that guy that normally buys a new car is stepping out and buying a used car. We're not talking about somebody that uses a used car for their primary. This is somebody that uses a used car as a secondary vehicle transportation. That's who we're looking for to really make this big money. So we have to curtail to what they're looking for. So these are new car buyers that are stepping into the used car market. Now, occasionally, once you get known for being having nice used cars as far as late model, I'd say right now you'd have to be at about a 6-year cutoff. You know what? You could probably get away with 2010 and newer. You could probably even get by a little older if they had really low miles. So you can go low miles or newer years with a few miles on them, but you really don't want to get past that 70,000 mark. You want to stay 60,000 and below. So this is going to be kind of like, all right, man, that sucks. Those cars are expensive. They're hard to find, blah, 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 blah. Yes and no. Yes and no. They are a little bit more hard to find. They're not as readily available because everybody wants them because everybody has prime customers they're trying to sell to. But they are out there and they are easily obtainable. You just got to know how to look for them. This are auction cars. It doesn't matter if it's an auction car at this point or if you're dealing with, this is when you might want to jump into the auction because now you're dealing with a car with a medium cost of probably $5,000 to $8,000, somewhere in that range. You don't really want to get much deeper than that, especially starting out. And the reason is because you're targeting that person with excellent credit that's getting a throwaway car for less than $200 a month. Guys, you can sell them all day long like nobody's business, which is excellent. So that car I'm talking about, it can be basically any make, model, or brand, but you are going to do better with some brands than others. So if you are going to target maybe a little smaller car, maybe stay away from the big heavy sleds like the Cadillacs and the Lincolns. They're just too heavy and too cumbersome as far as profitability goes. Those people are pretty sharp, so they're not going to be looking for a super luxurious car. They're looking for transportation. So keep that in mind when you're kind of looking. So some of the cars out there, anything Nissan makes is great. Toyota and most of the Fords out there, even the crossovers, whatever. And none of them hold their value after they're sold. So they're all easily accessible, usually for under 10 grand. So this is how I would set my lot up. I would set my lot up in thirds. I'd have SUV crossovers, some SUVs, some crossovers, some four doors, and then everything on there would be automatic except for maybe one 5-speed of something for that one particular person. And it's kind of how I do it. I'd probably lay heavy into the imports, a few domestics, and kind of keep it like that. What's up, peeps? Up, guys? Jim Ben. Okay, what's up? What's up, Cliff? Okay, those Nissan VC sucks. Well, they do suck when they're wore out and they got a gazillion miles on them, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about nice cars that you're buying under green light and or that you may even possibly be buying under warranty. So we're talking about nice cars, not junk that people have beat up. So CVTs are, yeah, they do have a reputation, but in the market we're talking about, they are out there, and you can use that to your advantage because most consumers don't care what the quote-unquote old reputation is. They care about what they're looking at and whether it fits in their financing needs for the $200 a month, $300 a month. Also, if you're going to get into prime, this customer, this allows you a few other income profitability, a few other income streams. One thing you can do is you can make interest money on it. You can make interest, like if you got a bank that'll finance them, say they're 800 Beacon score, you can finance them for, you can get the money for 5%, and your customer has a bank going to give them 7%. Well, you can sell them the loan for 6.5%, and you get paid on that percentage rate. You can also make money on extended warranties. You can make money on life A&H and also accessories because these people got credit, so the banks are willing to go deep and take the loans. So you can take a car that, say, $6,000 car that has a $9,000 book and get it over advanced for, say, $10,000, $11,000 and make yourself $3,500, $4,000 in less than an hour. Like, it's pretty profitable stuff. All right. Just a quick pick apart before everyone else. Just to get to LAQ, pick apart before everyone else. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, anyway, long story short, this is the highest profit center in the car business. This is what the franchises want. This is what the high-end, very secure and financially sound people use for a business model that are in the car business professionally. Most of them don't want to touch the high mileage stuff. They don't want to mess with the secondary customers. They don't want to deal with cheap stuff that can break, that puts liability on them. What they want to bet on the come. They want a car that's nice, hands off. They can put their hands on it, get it, and drop it, say goodbye, and never look back. Period. That's it. So the only thing they're focused on is keeping nice cars available for people with good credit to come shop or people with cash. And then they jump into a market. And see, that's a huge market. So what I would focus in on a lot that was $12,000 and back. This is if you really want to make some serious money. Now, if you can't play ball at that level and you could only be in the 4,000 to 6,000 or whatever you can do, the nicest cars you can buy to put out there, the better your profit and turnover is going to be. Trust me on this, guys. Now, there's always the bottom end of it where you can put out $1,000 cars or $400 cars and flip them and sell them, but you're always only going to make $400, $500, $1,000, $1,200, which that's chicken shit change. It's not real money. So if you want to get into a real money average, then you need to jump into nicer cars that you can turn volume with. And then you turn your sights into actually having a nice dealership. You know what I mean? You want the whole structure at that point. You want a nice facility. You're going to have some advertising. Like, you're going to have a business model at that point, which is okay. You're probably not there. I just wanted to make you aware of it because I feel like I was watching some more of one of those yo-yos we were talking about yesterday. And it is like, you can tell they're new and they're not car business oriented because this is not how if you're going to be in business, you got to take this stuff serious, man. You don't just take stuff nonchalant. Everything in this business is very serious. Everything, it's like, what's his name said, everything has an action that has an equal whatever reaction. It's true. And in the car business, the same thing. So, you got to think about this stuff, guys. And when you're buying cars, you got to buy nice stuff, as nice as your money will let you buy. And you got to treat your customers good. And you've got to do all the right things. And you've got to be professional, or you're not going to be here very long. If you're just buying crap and saying, hey, you know what? I don't care if it's fixed or not. They're desperate. They're going to buy from me. guess what, man? You're not going to make it. And if you do make it, what a reputation. Like, you don't want that. And so that's why I really wanted to get y'all guys thinking about going, getting nicer in the food chain. Now, if you're in the $1,000 car market, $2,000 car market, that's okay. Make your car a nice car. Give somebody something of value, and you'll keep a good business, and you'll keep everybody coming back to you. So it's okay. If you don't have a lot of money, that's all right too. But that prime customer, guys, that's the guy you're after, man. If that pays the bacon, that's what gets the groceries. All right, this is a pretty fair question. How many cars can you sell per month at that price point? So that is a business model that is scalable. So you could say, all right, let's just pretend, I know you were talking about AFC. Let's pretend AFC gave you 50 grand, which is kind of their beginning. Sometimes you can get them to start you at 75, but who knows? Let's just say they just start you at 50 grand because they don't like you and you don't like them and y'all got to start your relationship. Big Cliff, you're right. Love that customer. They will definitely love you back. But let's just say you have a 50 grand deal. I would try to focus myself out about 7, 8 cars. I'd have 7 or 8 nice cars, and I would expect no less than a $2,000 to $2,500 turn per unit. So, and the thing is I would be so aggressive at selling. I would try to turn my units twice the same month. So I would say if you're 7 cars, that means you're selling at least 14 to 20 cars a month. In other words, as soon as you're buying them, you're flipping them and reselling them. You got them in the chute. You're going. Which, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Let's don't blow smoke up each other's ass. If you're making, even on 7 cars, 14,000 ain't enough to make it in the car business. But if you jump up to 28, 45,000 a month, you're going to be able to sustain growth. You're going to be able to start buying your own inventory and buying out the finance company and becoming independent, which is what we always want. But this model will take you there faster than any other one will because there's basically no liability. Your cars are always liquid as long as you do due diligence buying them. And you can cash out 24/7. It doesn't matter. So when the customer buys a car, you got a cashable contract. When you buy the car, you can re-wholesale it within $100, $200 of what you paid for it, no problem. And that's just how it's done. That's the big way to make it done because no one wants to dick with a bad credit customer. They just don't want it. They don't want to deal with the secondary finance company, and then they don't want to deal with trying to chase down customer payments. They don't want to deal. These people don't have any sense of responsibility when they purchase vehicles. I'm talking about low end credit buying. Usually, this is generally speaking. If something breaks, they tell you to come get it. They have no sense of pride of ownership. I mean, there's just so many things you lose the further down the chain you go. Whereas you get someone that you sell a $6,000 car to, of course, he's going to be pissed if something happens, but he's going to take care of it. But you can definitely step up and help because there's not going to be very much wrong with it because you already know you got bought a green light car and you've checked it out. It changes everything when you're dealing with a car with 40,000 or 60,000 miles on it instead of dealing with 150. You're not dealing with head gaskets and transmissions and crazy shit like that. You're dealing with a serpentine belt, maybe some brake pads. Everything becomes functional. Everything becomes a lot more manageable. The further down the hill you go on the slide rule, the crazier shit gets. The same guy will be like, hey, I got an oil leak, I've got a belt squeak, I need a wheel bearing, my left tire is blown out. You've sold them a piece of shit, you've taken $500 down, you didn't do any money to recondition it, and you're like, well, you either pay me or I'll come hook it. And the poor guy will run the car until there's nothing left, there's no oil in it, and when it dies, he just tells you to come and get it. It doesn't. You see what I'm saying? There's no long-term plan when you do shit like that. That's not how you do success. Success doesn't work like that. What's up, Buff? All right, yeah. Okay, so some of my favorite things to tell you, or some of the things I would do, if you don't have a lot of money to work out with, take one segment of your money that you're working with and buy something a little nicer than you usually buy, and try to buy a good deal on it. Don't even talk to people about getting it secondary finance. Don't try to finance them. Don't try to rent it to them. None of that shit. You just sell it to someone that either has cash or is going to their bank. And every month you do that until that becomes more important than dealing with the riffraff. I'm telling you, you're going to love what I'm telling you. It's only a matter of time before that takes over. Now there will always be great money in sleds, and that's cheap junk cars. There will always be good money in it, and there'll be tons of money in it for somebody that knows how to fix them and somebody that really focuses in on that. No problem, not knocking it. I'm just telling you there is an easier way to get this done. There is a shorter distance to A to B for you to build wealth, and that is deal with a nicer unit and deal with a better customer, a better scale customer as far as being able to be financially fluid. They can get cash if they want it. They don't need you to solve any of their problems because guess what? They've got a job. They've been paying their bills. They got credit cards. They got banks. They don't need your shit. They just want your car, and if they want it, they'll come get it. Period. That's how that works. So anyway, that's my little take on that, guys. And I can tell you this. I know right now off the top of my head, I can't even think of how many I know that do exactly the model, the business scale that I just told you. All of them have been in business for years and years and years. They have great reputations for the most part, and they make a shit ton of money, a ton of it. And they do month in and month out. Their finance department makes a ton of money. Their retail end of it makes a ton of money, and that's where you want to go to. And I know tons of smaller independent guys that just try to, get the cheap end cars and do the best they can do. And believe me, brothers, I understand. I get you. I feel your pain on that. And, they even them, as struggling as they are, they'll try to do right by their customers, and then they have longevity in the business. Now, they're not as profitable as the other guys, and they work a lot harder, and they have to deal with a lot more crap, obviously. But they're still making a good living, and it's still a very viable way to make business. Okay, yeah. So does Prime Car sit longer? Not really. That's kind of a myth. Everything in the car business is derived around one statement. How cheap can it be bought? So the cheaper you can buy the car, the better deal that you can offer. Because most of these guys in Prime, here's how you can set your little niche up. Your niche. I'm Southern boy. I don't say niche. It's a niche. Anyway, so here's what I would do. So you take a car that's got a retail at 10 grand, right? You're setting it in at 7 grand, 6,500, somewhere around there. And although most people will try to set that car in just under retail around 95, you need to figure out what your model is going to be. If your model is going to be $1,400 per unit, that's cool. That's way cool. Just set it up right there. So, if you're at 65, 75, you're putting yours in at retail at 8 grand, you're not even going to go for the full blast. You're going to go for a price point until you can build a reputation and get a little bit of a following. So you can jump right in there and compete, but the only way you can compete is through price. That's the only thing you got going for you. These other guys are going to have tons of inventory, and they're going to have their shit together. They're going to have $1 million, $2 million floor plans, which you can't compete with. But you can compete with that one price point. So don't be worrying about them. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot more risk on each dollar. I mean, as long as you know what you're buying and you know what it's worth, there's really no risk at all. To me, anything past 10 grand and down are no risk cars. If you get into stuff like late model bets or real late model 18s right now, and you're trying to play that game with the new car franchises, yeah, you can get stung for 3 or 4 grand, and it becomes a problem. But when they bottom out after a 24-month span of being used 30, 40,000 miles, they're where they're at. You can pretty much price gauge them, and you're not going to hurt yourself. Now, it can take longer to find a primary customer, but if you take time, it could take a little longer based on a few factors. Like if you don't have a real nice facility, and you know what I mean? If you're not advertised, if you're in an area that does not bring any kind of traffic like that, you could be a little bit. But if you take the time, you've got internet, the level of playing field, you've got everything from Craigslist to Facebook to Let Go, whatever. All those things will layer the credit or layer the field for you. So that's how I would do it. I would do social media. No, you can't make $10,000. I see where you're going with this, Buff. I know you can make $1,000 on $1,000, and that is sound. But here's the difference: you can make $1,500 on 6 grand with your hands clean. You got a customer you don't got a dick with. You got they got their own credit, their whatever. It's just a nice car. It's clean. They just come in, they buy it, you're done. So I'm not saying you can't somehow do that with the other one. With $1,000 car, you really run the risk of what is that car's longevity. There's a lot of variables on what can be wrong with $1,000 car. I mean, we all got to agree with that, and we can be like, oh, there as is no warranty. Yeah, but I'm talking about a long-term sustainable business. So, yeah, I mean, you can sell $1,000 cars all day long for $2,000, but it's easier to sell. It's easier to sell a nicer car than it is a sled. I mean, but don't get me wrong. There will always be a market for the sleds. There's always going to be a market for it. It ain't never going to change. So do not let me in any way derail you from that. I'm just trying to expose you to how to build a more profitable, bigger business where you can scale it to something huge if you want to. Yeah, $1,000 cars are disposable, period. And a $6,000 car simply is not. You're going to have to ride that bitch to the train. You can't just be mad at it and throw it away. You're going to have it. But I mean, it all comes down to what you're comfortable with. I mean, and I get that. And, you got restraints. Not everybody has a huge floor plan and all this and that. So, I mean, you got to work with what you got. I'm just giving you an idea. So even if you could only start with one, if you don't turn away the nicer market just because it's easier to deal with the tards that are buying the 1,000, 2,000. If that's an easy market to stay in, it's real easy to stay there. But if you'll challenge yourself just a little bit and move towards something a little nicer, you'll build yourself quite a nice business. And it won't take long either. Do you have plans on making more of those? Yeah, actually, we have a lot in the shelf right now, by the way. I'm glad you brought that up. So I think next week, here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about taking this show to 1 day a week. And I'm going to tell you why. So here's what YouTube does. If you go out, like we're putting them out for the last 2 months almost, I'm putting them out daily. But YouTube doesn't put them in circulation. Like, that sucks, but they don't. So I got all this time, effort, and energy in filming, and basically they go nowhere. They get a couple hundred. Well, if I pull back a little bit where YouTube doesn't get fed so often, if that makes sense, then, what will happen is they'll give us a higher rotation. More people will get some use out of the videos. There's nothing more despairingly than, like this video right here is great. I think everybody should hear about the prime market. But because of how I'm doing this, not many people's actually going to hear about it. All right. Let's see if we catch up. Love your. Oh, so yeah. So I will be doing the repairs stuff. I was letting them all catch up because I was getting this new show kicked off. But yeah, I'm going to have to get back into the repair stuff too. Because we do stuff every day. Sometimes we film it, sometimes we don't. All right. To every customer every year, though. Yeah, okay. I always tell the girls that there will always be room for a nice old guy like me. First time poster, wanted to say hello and thank you. All American Dream Chaser. That sounds pretty cool name for a YouTube channel. Neon Full Carbon vid was awesome. Let's try it, see if it works weekly. Yeah. All right, so what day do you guys think would be good? Now, according to, and this is just real life feedback. So according to the people that know what the hell they're talking about, they say Wednesday is the day, but what do y'all think? Is Wednesday at 8 o'clock? Does that sound good to everybody? Or is that like a dysfunctional day? Like, should we do it on a Monday, a Friday? Wednesday seems to be kind of a hump day. Everybody seems to be kind of down with time on their hands, so maybe that's good. Okay, you're getting there, man. I don't know how I found you, but your videos have been really helpful. Oh, cool. Tuesday. All right, I like Tuesday. How's everybody feel about Tuesday? Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I'm waiting for some feedback. And we're going to try to pack a lot into those videos. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're gonna. I'll be putting out fixed videos all during the week, but as far as live, we'll be doing live on Tuesdays, I guess. Wednesday or Tuesday, Big Cliff says 8:30. Oh, do you think 8:30 is better than 8? Let's hear back on that one because I've got it at 8, but does 8:30 work? I'm kind of concerned about Big Cliff because he's down in Big Cliff. How far is your time zone from East Coast? He's Tuesday. All right, Big Cliff's Okay, everybody seemed to say Tuesday, so now we're down to 8 or 8:30. Okay, he's saying too late. So everybody okay with 8 o'clock? All right, Sean, you might have to catch us a few minutes late because it looks like everybody's catching us around 8. Okay, 8 is fine. All right. And listen, Sean, don't worry about it. It's going to be a long-winded one, so you'll be able to jump in and be part of it. Won't be no problem. Oh, he's the same. Okay, got you. Sounds cool. All right, 5 o'clock there in Canada. Okay, cool. He must be on the other side of Canada. All right, Benny, 8 is good. Okay. All right, guys, so that's what we're going to do from now on. We're going to do Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Now, I would invite y'all to come over to my Instagram. I'm on that shit all the time, playing around because I got friends. That's how we all talk. So Instagram, if you want, you can hit my personal Instagram, which is on the front of the page, and you can just follow me, and I'll follow you back or whatever. And if you need me, you can just bam, hit me. And, YouTube's getting really good now, so you can hit a video now, and it comes straight to my phone. So it's just like emailing me or talking to me, texting. It's just as fast. Primetime Jamie's, same Jamie channel, same Jamie time. Roger that. All right, boys and girls, I guess we'll let you go. And then Tuesday at 8 o'clock, it will be on. Any kind of crazy shit you want me to get into, let me know ahead of time because we're going to get into it. It's going to get real. And as many of y'all want to get involved, the better it is, the more I love it. And this is for y'all. So, whatever we can do. All right, peace out. Slam that Amazon on the main page. Go shop till you drop. I'll let y'all know how much money I made on Tuesday. Peace out. Nothing but love.